Hello, entrepreneur. This is Coach Chenjerai Mukandiona. I'm a mindset coach. I welcome you to this entrepreneurial talk where I want to discuss about 5 abilities that every entrepreneur must have. If you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you should have these 5 abilities. So these abilities are: 1, the ability to build business systems. 2, the ability to network. 3 is the ability to consult. 4 is the ability to build teams. And 5 is the ability to sell. So these are 5 skills that you must invest into. Take your time to learn about these 5 skills, and if you learn them well, you do discover that entrepreneurship is one of the most exciting profession. Right, so let us begin by assessing the first ability, which is the ability to build business systems. What I want you to understand, entrepreneur, is that the chief role of every entrepreneur is to build businesses. And when we talk of businesses, we mean business systems. A business, it's a business system. Right. So an entrepreneur is not the same as a self-employed person. The difference is that an entrepreneur works on the business, whereas the self-employed person works inside the business. In this case, the point is, for you to be an entrepreneur, you need to be working on developing your business, not developing the product or producing the product that your business is offering to customers. Your product is the business itself. Its functions in terms of organization, creating departments, putting systems that hire employees, systems that collect debts, systems that pay creditors, among other various business systems. So it is your duty as an entrepreneur to see to it that you have these systems in place, and not only just systems, but you also need to make sure that these systems can be duplicated or replicated in different geographical location, because entrepreneurs don't just create one business, but they create multiple businesses. If you start with one store in area A, you need to create similar stores in various different geographical areas, and the systems will be the same. The systems that run the business will be the same, and you are simply duplicating the very same system. So you can only be able to do that when you are working outside the business, right? Outside the box. Working outside the box create a free time for you. Remember that time is a non-renewable resource, but money is renewable. So your time is the most precious asset that you have, because it will enable you to network and to negotiate contracts, among other things, as opposed to a self-employed person who is working inside the business. He is the one who is doing the production. Or if he is into tailoring, he is one who is cutting the cloth, sewing, and doing everything. So he is the system. If he doesn't come to work, it means the business will not generate any income. If he falls sick, it means the business will shut down, no income or revenue will be generated. So this is the disadvantage that a self-employed person have. For a self-employed person, time is money. Time and money cannot be separated, because he is using his time to make money, whereas the entrepreneur can afford to use his time to do other things, but still generating more and more revenue. So I want you to understand this distinction, game changer, so that you don't become a self-employed person, but you become an entrepreneur. You don't cage, you don't create your own prison, because a self-employed person is a person in prison. To be your own boss, it's a very bad concept. You need to hire other people to work for you. All right, that's the job of an entrepreneur, hiring other people to work for you, not to be your own boss, not to manage yourself, but to manage other people who are working for you. Then the second aspect is networking. Game changer, understand that 90% of the job of entrepreneur is to network, because what every entrepreneur needs is to have what we call social capital. Social capital, which is a network of relationships that one builds around himself. From those networks, he is able to extract factors of production, and so these factors of production, which include financial capital, human resource, technical, and other physical resources that entrepreneur need to have in order to start a business. So an entrepreneur is a resource mobilizer. So to mobilize resource, the greatest resource that you need is the people. When you have the people, you have everything that you need. And the role of an entrepreneur is to build trust. An entrepreneur should be a trusted person. If you want to do well and succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to be a credible person, a trustworthy person, because nowadays, if you look around, credits are being given based on character, or in what we call character-based lending. So the more people know you and understand you and believe in your character and your competence, the more they are likely to assist you. So networking is very key. As an entrepreneur, you need to be traveling and to attend various seminars, symposiums, and any platform, any gathering that that enable you to meet new people. If you want to become a local entrepreneur, you have to go around your local area meeting new people. If you want to become an international entrepreneur, you need to travel internationally, attending key conferences and interact with the various people. This is where you meet like-minded people. This is where you meet people who share the same interest as you. So it's very key that you start networking. Networking, it's a social skill, which is very important, which is very pertinent for an entrepreneur. Then thirdly, let's talk about the role of consulting. So it's unfortunate that many people, especially in Africa, African entrepreneurs, they undermine the value of consulting because they see paying consultant as a waste of money. But I must say that it's better if you have 20,000 and a consultant wants 10% of that money. It's better to pay him the 2,000, because otherwise you are going to lose the 18,000 altogether. Right. So in terms of costs and benefit analysis, the benefit of consulting is the cost of not consulting is very high, and the benefit of consulting again is very high. If you consult, you are more likely to save your resources from making mistakes, among other things. So you need professional consulting partners or mentors or people who have been successful, who can role model you. These people must act as sounding boards. They need to evaluate your ideas. So it means on a monthly basis, if you are to put someone on your payroll for them to act as your consulting partners, to help you to do the planning, to do many other things that are key for you to be able. Remember, knowledge is very important. Knowledge is key, and knowledge is power. Many people are perishing because of lack of knowledge. Many businesses are failing to survive for too long because of lack of the knowledge and understanding. All right. So invest in knowledge. Hire people, consult people who are well versed in terms of understanding your business and other things that are key for you to succeed. Then we move to item number 4, which is the ability to build teams. So team building is something which is very key to every entrepreneur. If you write the word team, it means together each achieve more. But I always take the letter E in the word team to represent execution. A good team should be the one which will be able to execute well, right? So for you to be able to succeed, you need to hire people who are smarter than you. And one would ask, why would people who are smarter than you agree to work for you? It's very simple, game changer. God created us to be interdependent. You have the abilities which other people do not have. Other people may be smarter, they are well educated, but they may lack the ability to network and resource mobilization. So because you, as an entrepreneur, you know how to network, you know how to mobilize resources, you know how to raise capital, so you mobilize all the factors of production and then assign these people in your team who are now acting as managers and technicians to create profit using those resources. So for you to be able to persuade them to work for you, you need to be someone who is committed and who show interest and values that are in line, in alignment with these people. So if you share the same values and if you share the same interests, these people are more likely to agree to work with you. So when building a team, it is very important to know that a great company is not driven by a single great CEO, Chief Executive Officer. You need a group of people who are in themselves leaders, great people. And so if you have 3 or 5 great people in your company, that company is more likely to succeed, right? It's very important to assess the values people have when building teams, and this is the tip that I want you to clearly take note of, because companies fail because of people who are involved. If you hire thieves, they will steal everything from you, and if you hire lazy people, nothing will get, nothing productive will happen. So assess values. Different people have got different values. There is a hierarchy of values. I have my values. I don't have one value, but I have a list of values. But at the top, there is something that I value more. Then secondly, thirdly, so it's more of a hierarchy of values, right? So what I value and what you value are different things. So you need to pay attention to what exactly do the people that you intend to hire value. And if they value what you value, then that's okay. Some people value relationships more than money. Some people value money more than relationships. So this is something that you need to consider. Values are more important. Do not compromise on values, because values don't change. Hire people as who they are. When they show who they are, believe them the first time. Don't ever think that they are going to change on what they value. Values are heavily entrenched in human beings. In other words, it's more of a personality, right? Then the other thing that you need to assess is interest. Interest is very important in the sense that it is the greatest motivator, right? So because people want a job, in most cases they will pretend to work in your interest or to represent your interest, but they will have their own interest. You need to pay attention to other people's interests and to see if their interests are in line with your business interest. Right? Then you also need to assess ability. Ability, unfortunately, it's not something that can improve. If someone, it's an inborn thing. If someone lacks the ability, there are 2 things that you need to do: either to fire them or to reassign them to position which suit their abilities. Many entrepreneurs make this mistake. They identify that someone lacks the ability to do something, then they send them for training. Training doesn't improve when the ability lacks, training doesn't improve anything, right? So a good example is like someone has the ability to run fast, someone doesn't have the ability to run. So the one with the maybe short legs, who is not athletic, he doesn't have that ability, training will not help in any way. But for the one whose body is athletic, training will improve his skills, right? So skills, understand the relationship between his ability and skills. If someone has the ability but doesn't have the skills, if they go for training, they will improve. And if someone doesn't have the ability, even training will not improve their skills. So when building your team, do not put much emphasis on whether one have skills or not, because skills can be improved, right? If you identify that the weakness here is a lack of skills, then it's something that can be overcome, right? But if it's a lack of ability, then nothing will happen. You just have to fire them or to reassign them. Then another thing which is key to understand is that normally people hire based on someone's skills, but they fire based on attitude. So it is the attitude that people have which makes them being fired. Or so attitude can be a personality defect. Personality defect, it's hereditary. These are the people who doesn't work. For instance, they don't work well with others, right? If you put them in this department, within a short time frame, they are in conflict with the other people, then you can change them, they go to another department, and they just don't get along with the other people, and that's why they get fired. Because personality can be linked to productivity. We don't want people who make others not becoming productive, people who end up discouraging other people, or other people end up resigning because of other employees. So these things are bad. So when you build teams, make sure that you have people with the right personalities and people who can work well with others. Other things that you need to consider, people who complete whatever they've started, people who receive instruction at once. You don't want people whom you can instruct them again and again and again for something to get done, right? We just need people who receive instruction at once, and you also need people who are easy to correct. Because people who are difficult to correct are not productive at all. People who easily get offended and stuff like that, those are not good people to have in your team. Then lastly, let's talk about the ability to sell, which is in particular, it's all about storytelling. As an entrepreneur, know that your chief role as a networker, in the process of networking, consulting, and team building, you need to be a storyteller. The art of persuasion through storytelling. So for you to be able to influence other people to buy from you, either their customers as customers, or to be able to work for you or to work with you. You need to be able to persuade them, and people in your networks to give you resources. You need to tell them a story that they can buy and agree to line up behind your project. So those who tell stories, there's an American proverb which say those who tell stories rule the world. So you need to be able to be a good storyteller. It's a good skill that you need to develop, and if you develop it well, you discover that opportunities, you create opportunities for you, for yourself. So the greatest body part that we have is our mouth. A mouth can create or destroy relationships. So use your mouth well, learn how to speak and how to speak well, right? So storytelling, you need to structure your story in 3 parts, and practice the art of that your story, so that you'll be able to repeat it over and over again. And so when you are telling a story, suppose you want to pitch an idea, break it into 3 parts: the problem that you are solving, the solution that you provide to that problem, and the proof. So problem, solution, and proof. This is the story that you need to, the structure of the story that you need to tell. It's more of a pitch. As a storyteller, you don't wait for a professional environment to start telling your story, or to go in front of investors and then tell your story. Everywhere you go is an opportunity. Every conversation is an opportunity to tell your story. And so the more you perfect your story, the better. What is it that you are solving? What is the evidence that you have? So if you tell your story well, people will be interested, and people would want to invest. People would want to work with you. The mistake that many entrepreneurs do is that they create business cards, and whenever someone asks them about what they are doing these days, they say, "Oh, I'm a managing director for this company." Then they hand over the business card. So normally they do so thinking that they are showing bling bling, or they are showing a sign of success. But the disadvantage is that you haven't communicated anything to them. You did not tell them your story, and you might separate with these people without turning them into a resource of some sort, because they can be a customer, they can be an investor, they can be referees who can give word of mouth to other people. What I'm trying to say here is that if you tell them a story, for instance, if you say, there's an electricity problem in our area, and I am into solar panel business. I fix and supply solar panels to these residents. Like this house that you are seeing, I'm the one who fixed that solar panel. So that's the story basically. And if someone he was perhaps not interested in hearing, but the way you have said it will force someone to inquire more, to want to listen to more about it. It's very different from saying I'm a managing director of mechatronics solar company, right? And something like that. So the art of storytelling is key, and is a very powerful tool that you can use as an entrepreneur, as you will be networking, as you will be doing anything that you remember. I said 90% of an entrepreneur is to network, and the storytelling ability is the tool that you carry wherever you will be going. Entrepreneur, thank you very much for listening. Once again, I'm Coach Chenjerai Mukandiona. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. If you have a comment below. Thank you very much.